Hello and welcome back, viewers. You're watching Newsx and I am Kriti Mehta. Let's give you the latest updates that are coming in as far as the war between US and Iran goes. Flight operations in the Middle East have gradually resumed today after being disrupted for 3 days due to the conflict involving the US, Israel and Iran. Dubai International Airport and Dubai World Central have started limited operations with Emirates and Fly Dubai flights to destinations including Mumbai, New Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Sharm el Sheikh, Warsaw and Belgrade. Several international flights including those to Cologne, Damascus, Hanover, Moscow and Medina remain cancelled. Authorities are closely monitoring the airspace and passengers are advised to check airline and airport updates before traveling. I'm joined in now by senior geopolitical and strategic defense expert, retired Major General Sudhakar Ji. General Sudhakar, thanks very much for joining us. Now, slight resumption of flight operations. But what kind of loss are we expecting for the aviation industry in this conflict?
Well, Priti, firstly, thank you for getting me back again. Aviation, look at the revenue, the loss of revenue. Look at the turbulence to the itinerary of the passengers. It is more than people say. If Middle East is affected, it impacts the entire aviation network of the world, because every aviation start or midpoints, at some point of the aviation trajectory of the journey will always touch the Middle East. So therefore, the I would say the world would have lost something close to, in this 3 days time, it will be more than 20 to 30 billion dollars roughly. This is a rough calculation, and it may be much more than that, because as the days passes by, because number of flights which have been cancelled are something close to 5 to 600 flights, and in fact the numbers are rising. So the people who are stranded up in Dubai alone are so many that so many Indians are actually stranded over there. So therefore, the overall impact is going to be in terms of the revenue generation for the aviation industry, loss of revenue generation. Number two, it is also going to impact the security and the safety, as some of the airfields, airports have been targeted in the Middle East by Iran and possibly by some of the proxies. Also, it is also going to impact the overall plan that the passengers would have had. So all these things put together, it is going to come down pretty heavily on the economy of the affected countries, economy like India, because ours is a shining spot. Any such kind of um, activities in between, or military operations taking place, will definitely impact the economy of India, because it is ultimately it adds to the kitty of India's forex reserve, and also we are the export market. Now, coming to the trade and commercial activities, that also is going to be impacted. But overall, I would say aviation industry, um, besides the passenger movement, also is dealing with the trade and commercial products which are transported from place A to place B, country A to country B. That also is going to be impacted very, very severely. And there is also a factor of predictability, because every such kind of organized sector is based on our time schedule. The time schedule, once it is subjected to change, it has got a spiraling impact. And that spiraling impact will actually cause avoidable turbulence to predictability. Because everything is about time and predictability in any kind of corporate or organization to be productive and to be beneficial at the end of the day. Back to you, Kriti.
Fuhara in the UAE to bring back stranded passengers to India. As per officials, the airline is coordinating to ensure safe and timely evacuation amid ongoing tension in the region. The Israeli Air Force is now carrying out simultaneous strikes on Tehran and Beirut, targeting the Iranian terror regime and Hezbollah. Israeli military spokesperson Adrai has also shared a picture on X showing a roaring lion and Israeli airstrikes with the word urgent. He said the Air Force has launched a wave of extensive strikes hitting Iranian and Hezbollah targets at the same time. General Sudhakar, what's your assessment of how long Hezbollah will be able to sustain this fight and how long before it's completely eradicated in this major war between Israel, Iran and US?
Centering around the capability, fighting potential or the combat potential of Hezbollah. You see, at one point in time before 23rd of prior to 7th October 2023, Hezbollah's HR, the human resource component, had around 1.5 lakh or more than that. And it is believed if you have to carry out the military computation of combat residual power, it comes down to, people say it's around 40% has you have to reduce, and therefore the human resource would have come down to around 75,000 to 80,000. I'm taking the bottom line figure of 40,000 because that is the figure which is floating around in open domain, open source, Wikipedia, Google, and everywhere, and ChatGPT as well. So even if it is 40,000, and let's give a fair kind of attrition, they had almost about 150,000 of rockets, missiles, and including hypersonic. I'm given to understand some of the hypersonic missiles have reached them of Iran. So all these things, after the attrition factor is taken into account, it comes to roughly around 80 to 90,000 of these missiles still holding out with these people. And 80 to 90,000, only thing that has happened is they have been pushed back north of Litani River. Some of them, I believe, they had crossed Litani River to south of Litani, and they have been pushed back. The Lebanon forces, regular forces, have come to the space which earlier used to be held by Hezbollah, and but presently, because they have declared a war against Israel now again, I believe they cannot fight a war sitting in the urban city centers. They have to come out of it, get closer to Litani, get back to the launch pad where they had occupied earlier, establish the launchers, the missile launchers, and mount them and then carry out attack. So that is a kind of a battlefield. That is the front line where they have to come and occupy. So all these things put together, I would say, being a guerrilla force, well, anything up to 3 to 4 months, if they are subjected to heavy attrition by Israel from air, from artillery, from drones, from ground forces, I believe one brigade of Israel has already gone across the boundary line, that boundary line of 131 kilometers, which they had between Lebanon and Israel. I believe there was a boundary wall, pretty tall wall, which was supposed to have been, it was sanctioned by both the countries. They're supposed to have built that wall. The wall has been built to some extent, may not be 100% completed. They have gone across that boundary. They're close to Leitani River now, basically to make sure that the Hezbollahs are pushed back. So this itself is going to take time. And my guess is around 3 to 4 months combat potential of Hezbollah if they're subjected to attrition, if they stay at one point. Being guerrillas, they're not going to stay there. They will be moving out to left, right, and center. They may move out to Syria, for all you know. So it will be very difficult to actually target and neutralize all of them, like it happened in case of ISIS. People kept on claiming and thumping the chest that the backbone has been decimated. Now, what has happened in 2017 and now? Yes, to seek acclaim and recognition, One went on to announce the achievement, all the milestone, but ultimately, what has happened? They have been decimated into small, small groups. Look at the Sahel region in Africa, Central Africa. 10 countries are affected there. Look at the Northwest Africa. ISIS is present. Look at Somalia, they are there. Look at the Levante region, North Iraq. You have Mediterranean coast. You have Israel, Syria, Jordan. To large an extent, they are impacted. Look at the Central Asian Republic, the ISIS Khorasan, and Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, cutting across India, right up to Australia, across Southeast Asia. So, on one hand, we may claim victory, but these guerrilla forces are based on ideology. It is very difficult to actually neutralize them, eliminate them permanently. One has to resort to the strategy Israel practices, mow the grass. Every 5, 6 months, once a while, you must go knock them down, dampen the spirit, lower the morale, carry out attrition on the logistics and men and material. That's the way to go. You got to keep mowing the grass in the lawn. Only then the terrorists or the guerrillas can be taken care of.
All right, I want to take that question with